West here, and welcome to our 5K live stream. Going to be getting the feed up here in just a moment for the comments section. Here we are. Wonderful. Let's pull this up. And okay. Here we are. Alright, let's get started. Sorry for the late start, by the way. This was a bit of a, some other stuff. There we go. Here's everybody. What's happening? Hello, hello, hello. Flip this around right quick. All your comments. Oh, I like that. There we go. Yes, Damon, you do need this game. Alright. How's everybody doing? Here to talk lore, celebrate 5,000 subscribers. All of the above. Gonna be streaming for about 2 hours today, so. Oh, thank you very much, Honest King. Yeah, I'm very excited that the community has grown to this point. I always gotta reacclimate myself when I start like playing this game again, because I go back and forth between this and a few others. Like if I go back and forth between this and Monster Hunter, instead of like rolling, I jump, and it's just all that. What is my loadout? Right now I am using my Banuk striker bow, I believe, or just the hunter bow. Yeah, so I usually rock. I was doing some game capture, so I was using my Fire Forge, but I can show you the specifics of what I run. I run a high damage build on this. Yes, it was. You can see I'm a little rusty. Oopsie, you want to pick something up, and I was used to a different game. Yeah, but this is the bow that I'll generally use for everything. So feel free to. Silver's keeping her dog under control. She wants to play. I think she had her first birthday. I can hear the audio but no video. Is anybody else having that audio problem? TV. Alright, here we go. Harvest these. Oh, there's some Banuk hunters over here. Let's go join them. I'm all for the Banuk. Okay, thank you for the feedback. What? Yeah, so as far as what I run on my Banuk striker bow, this is generally what I have on it. Like I said, I run a pretty heavy damage and tear stuff. These mods, obviously from the Frozen Wilds, are pretty awesome. Let's see here. So yeah, I have this guy on there. This one and this guy. I'm not sure if that was like I know they like changed something about the game and it made it harder to get these really good just straight up purple mods, but you know, I've been playing since like day one, so hey, there we go. Sophia, glad to hear that things are getting better on your end. Oh, that's so sad. It's like a hornless trampler. Do you think there are multiples of each type of cradle? I commented a while ago on the cradle video about them being Greek letters often used as repeated variables. You know, I'm not sure if there are, you know, identical cradles, but I do see that they could probably produce the same machines if they had the same resources and technologies available to them. So I'm not sure if they would use the same coding, but I assume that grazers exist kind of all over the planet to help with the terraforming process. So, you know, the thing is, it's the identifier. Excuse me, it's the identifier that you're looking for, right? So if you looked at this trampler here, and we just kind of zoomed in, you can tell that it comes from the specific markered cauldron. Off the top of my head, I think that's row, but I could be wrong. So if there are other... I think that different cauldrons can produce the same machines, but the cauldrons produce very specific machines, and you can tell by the markings. So if that answers your question. I'm not sure if it did. Sorry. Hey man, just wanted to say love your work and greetings from Argentina. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate the love and support, and, you know, our constantly growing community. It makes me incredibly happy. I can't wait to tell you guys what we got coming up in the future. The lore one suggests that there are only a few cradles, like under 20. The cradles are the human spawn locations, aren't they? Yes, they are a byproduct of the subfunction Eleuthia, and it's Alpha Patrick Bouchard Klein. Whoa! Look at you. You're mine. Yeah, you know, we did a speculation concerning the cradles, and kind of, I think the kind of on the high side of things, it could be more than that. But on the low side, you're probably thinking more close to 9 or 10, simply because the path that the Pharaoh Plague followed, being that the central United States, kind of the area that the game takes place in, is kind of the last stand of humanity. That would be the last available place to build a cradle. So if you were doing it sequentially, which you probably would have to, being that the earliest cradles, like Eleuthia 1 and 2, are in Africa and Asia, then you're more thinking that, in my opinion, I think you're getting closer to 9 or 10, maybe 1 in the West. I'd be interested in seeing 1 if we end up going on the sequel. I love the lore in this game and was so happy when I found your channel because it was exactly what I wanted. You made this girl very happy. Well, thank you very much. You know, the reason why this channel even came to being was because, you know, I'm a big fan of video game lore as well, and people like Vati Vidya, my name is Bife, Mylan Games, and I was looking for something like that in accordance with Horizon, and, you know, people did degrees of content about it, but like I said, it wasn't quite as dedicated as I had hoped it would be. So I appreciate that. That's a big compliment. Thank you very much. Random question. Well, this is random side quest. Have you ever ran into the shaman in the cut, standing / praying above a dead watcher? That was a neat encounter. I haven't, but it makes sense. You know, the hunting process for the Vanook is a very sacred one. Like, if the hunter is the one who brings down the machine, but the shaman has to bless the kill, if you will, and then perform like the proper rites and rituals before that machine can be harvested. So that could be part of that process. All right. Yeah. Oh. Let's see here. Thank you very much, Aaron. Hey RSQ, are you planning to dive into the lore of more games? Ooh, that is... You're verging on spoiler territory. You know what? If you're part of the Discord, I have actually polled the community. If you're not part of the Discord, we have a permanent link in the About section of the channel. Please feel free to join. We have an awesome community over there. really, really passionate people about the game. And I wanted to poll our community, kind of see if that was something that they were interested in. And it seems like, yeah, we're open to the idea. We're gonna continue producing Horizon content, obviously, because that's the heart and soul of the channel. But we definitely have plans to expand into different games, at least in a limited capacity. Hello there. Oh man, I always mispronounce your name. It's like Meridian Alus, I think. Do you have an overall favorite weapon, including in the DLC? That I will say, the weapon that got me out of the biggest bind doing the Chieftain Trial was the Forge Fire. And so that one has a place near and dear to my heart because it just, I was beating my head against the wall trying to beat the time. And so I would say the Forge Fire is probably my favorite, but I'm hoping for more melee weapons in the sequel and a greater variety of or like a greater depth in the melee combat. I love your game lore videos, not only for the stuff I get to learn, but to show me new places to explore. I also suffer with anxiety, and your voice is very calming to listen to. Thank you very much, Catherine. It's funny, early on when I was just first starting the channel, I had a couple people who said that I need to add a little bit more like crazy inflection to my voice, but I think kind of the tone of this game is a somber one a lot of the time when you're digging into the lore, and it's like, oh, it's time for the apocalypse. It's I don't think it really tonally fits to be that way, but I'm really happy you enjoy it. That's a big compliment. Thank you. To me, when I listen back to my voice, because you know how that is when you listen to your voice, it's always sounds different. I always feel like I sound like Mickey Mouse. I'm like, oh boy, let's go talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, So I'm glad you enjoy it. I usually avoid using the shaman weapons due to the high material cost, but then again, I usually have 20 stacks of blaze. I do suffer with hoarding problems also. I'm like, oh, but what about the chill water? I might need like 17 more stacks of this, but I don't use the Forge Fire that often, but I will say, as far as like me owing an achievement to that weapon, I probably wouldn't have been able to complete the Chieftain Challenge without it. It really helped with the Frost Claws. It's been a while since I've done that, the Chieftain Trial. Maybe I should go try that. Let's go. Ice rail for life, don't at me. I do enjoy the ice rail. The launcher is one of my favorites. I'm not sure if it's the most effective, but there's something incredibly satisfying about like just launching at it. I have done a lot of research on my own, but thanks to your videos, I was able to answer a lot of questions from my friends. Well, I'm really happy to have helped there, Alex. This is, I think, one of the most underrated games as far as lore is concerned. I think a lot of people sleep on it, and Guerilla did so much to add just depth to make the world seem, lived in. Even though it's our world, it really did add a lot of flavor, text, and that people really did inhabit this. And I'm learning new things. I was writing a Metal World script recently and came upon a pretty nifty revelation that I don't want to spoil, but
Do you ever get... I'll rest some.
that I will get into. I wanted to get the box. Still stuff in the box. There we go. Another question for you. Do you think that Pharaoh-blocked projects... that the Pharaoh-backed projects are the only ones who could have survived? For such a grounded series, it seems impossible for other organizations to try. As far as like saving humanity is concerned, maybe. I mean, you hear about like Far Zenith and the Odyssey project. That would be an example of a large corporate entity kind of participating in that process. They actually helped Zero Dawn achieve their goals. So I suppose so. You have companies out there like Metallurgic International and Hearts Timor that may have attempted it. I think the only thing that could have stopped them was the timetable, and Far Zenith kind of saved themselves with that because a lot of the legwork was done, you know, in the decade before, just trying to get that project off the ground. So I think Pharaoh kind of had a head start on it because they knew, because it was obviously their fault. But I think that's definite possibility. I think if there was any other organization that could have got a leg up on it, would have been Miriam Technologies, which was Elizabeth Sobek's company after she left Pharaoh Automated Solutions. And for me personally, I really hope that we kind of get to go into that world in the sequel. In her company, you can actually see where is it? There it is. So this mug is from Miriam Technologies, the company that Elizabeth started. So hopefully we kind of get into that. And I think being that she was really big into green robotics anyway, I think her company might have the best chance outside of Pharaoh to help propagate the species. Let's see here. Oh, I need to sleep. I just dropped in to say hi. Hope everyone is having a great day. Thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see. I am going to try the Chieftain Trial. I will say I am insanely rusty, so hopefully it's not too terrible.
You're back from all.
All right.
The Chieftain's Trial is a challenge that will push even the mightiest hunter to
Did
their
you
limit.
catch the
Only
KZ
largest,
reference?
most
Yeah, I
dangerous
did.
machines will be loosed into
It was
your
pointed out to me. I
hands.
didn't play Killzone, but it was
Mm,
pointed out to me
quickly.
by one member of the
Do what
community
you
in the
can to
mug there. It's
exploit
pretty funny. There's
Best
another.
of them and
There's a
survive.
couple other Guerrilla projects that are brought in there. Also, a couple Death Stranding ones,
If you're prepared, we'll need a moment.
which is a game that I would love to get into. I would love to see Elizabeth's company or something from it, like a ruin or anything like that. Me too, Alex. I think that'd be fascinating. You know, she plays such a big part in our story. It would make sense that, you know, especially, you know, also in Aloy's story. So, already off to a great start. Oh, see, I'm dodging like I was in Monster Hunter. Oh, you know what I actually want? Another underrated weapon that I only truly came to appreciate in ultra hard mode. Where's the roadcaster? Where are you? There you are. Everything is terrible. Everything is awful. Oh god, these things are... Where are those traps again? There are traps around here. I know that. I'm already so far behind to get gold. I'm just hoping to that was good. should be a climbable thing up here. There we go. Like I said, it's been a second. It's been a hot second since I've done this, so. Alright. Let's take on the Frost Claws, and this is where my good friend Forge Fire comes in. Insane handy. Uh-oh. Dodge a crossbar, you can dodge a ball. That's one. I got silver. That's not bad for doing this in 6 months. Dang. Find Shield Weaver best. Shield Weaver best on ultra hard. Man, it's like it's definitely not as good though. They like nerfed that into the ground. All right. Not too shabby. I'm not overly disappointed in myself. I thought it was gonna be way worse. Way worse.
I'd have to leave something else behind.
Alright. What's up, O'Malley? Thanks for hopping into the stream. Alright, what other lore stuff do we want to talk about? We did get to talk about Miriam Technologies, which is near and dear to my heart. I would love to see more of that. Any videos you'd like to see? I know I've been having a lot of comments about human air combat during the Pharaoh Swarm, and that is definitely something that I'll dig into during a lore bite. So just know that I'm not ignoring you. That is definitely on the horizon. I suppose pun intended now. You still have to get my name right. It was like Meridianalus? Man. It's just hard, man. It is hard. I'm just going to call you the High Priest. Because that's what you are also. In his radiant light. I'm trying my best. Really am. How do I get back up here again? I'd like to see one with a full story of Elizabeth. Yeah, you know, during the alphas, if you haven't seen that one, I know we talk about more than her, but there's a pretty good amount of backstory on her if you're looking for some stuff on Dr. Sobek. Has all the pertinent info.
You came in second. Most couldn't manage that.
Meridian All Us. Oh, got it. Random side quest. We had a quick discussion about above. Curious what you think. My family think the next game will bring Elizabeth's company back to help Aloy fix the issues with reconstructing the world. Like, I would absolutely want to see Elizabeth's company, Miriam, be involved in the next game in some capacity. I have my own kind of theories about where I see, like, where I want the sequel to go, and then where I see the sequel going. Big hint. I do think Vast Silver is one that is definitely going to be explored in the sequel. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Miriam, Elizabeth's company, featured heavily in the sequel also. Like an individual video, you know, but it's cool. I'm not complaining. Thank you, Alex. I'll take a look, see if there's anything more to kind of find on her. Which one is the Stormslinger trial? I don't like the Stormslinger trial. I want to do maybe is it the Onslaught trial? Is that what I do? Hopefully he can track the chat to read questions. Yes, feel free to reiterate though, because to go back is a little. I want to make sure that I keep up with everybody else's. All right. Oh, I wasn't. Were you paying attention? Nope.
The Onslaught trial challenges a hunter to withstand the ebb and flow of combat. Machines will be released into the arenas in waves.
Oh, yeah, that's the one I want.
It begins after you descend. We'll need a moment.
Finally got my name right. Meridian All Us. Meridian. Well, I had it. I'll keep practicing. Oh, golly. All right.
Come on, then.
Did it again.
One arena down. On to the next.
Watches down. Just explode. Oh. Not what you're saying. That aim assist is pretty heavy on that one. RSQ, thank you for pointing out Vast Silver. I wondered if the swarm had become sentient, but VS is better fit to unleash. Yeah, I think the swarm. It's kind of like I think the reason really is why they call it the swarm. You know, in general, is the fact like. it's kind of mindless. It's just out there to. It's like a swarm of locusts. They don't really have any ulterior motives outside of just surviving and wanting to. Next. But where are the next people? Oh. Shabby. I always like that one. I'll post mine again. Sorry, Catherine. Let me try to find yours. Hopefully you can track back the questions. Oh yeah, just feel free to post it again. We need a role play channel on the RSQ server. I think we kind of have one. Is it like the
Can't carry more.
like tribes? I think is what they're using it for. We can make a dedicated one on the server though. I can do this. Okay. Yeah, but I think I know a lot of people are thinking that the Odyssey is going to be heavily involved in that next game, and I agree that it'll have a place, but honestly I think Vast Silver is where it's at. Originally Guerrilla was going to create an Oseram area in the game, but ended up cutting it from the original release. Why then did they not make it an expansion like they did with the Frozen Wilds? I don't know. I don't know, and it makes me sad because I'm fairly certain it was going to be here, because you have that big Oseram gate, and geographically it kind of lines up. The claim would be somewhere around here. Look at this guy. What's he doing over there? He is apparently in the not DLC area. I would have liked that immensely. I don't know. I know they had plans for other things in the game that they would have liked to do, but you know, there's constraints. I have very few gripes with the game, but that's one of those gripes. It's like, I just want more. Give me more of the game. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was going to be right here. This leads to the claim, and this gate should lead further north to Ban Ur. I was curious, do you think that any copies of Apollo survived? Maybe in Elysium. Also, I agree Odyssey will appear but won't be a key part. I think that's actually where the copy of Apollo is going to come in. I think it's going to be through the Odyssey project, because Samina Abaji worked on basically an initial build of that way early on, called the Homer project. Or the Homer archive, and it was from that archive that Apollo was possible within the time constraints that Zero Dawn was under. So I think that is our key to getting Apollo back, would be the Odyssey. So I don't see them as a, like, ooh, they're the ones behind the signal, but I do see that as our kind of MacGuffin to get Apollo back online. Whether that happens in this one or maybe the third one, I don't know though, but I do think that it is possible and likely. I have a hypothesis that Elizabeth can still be alive, but digitally if she uploads her consciousness to the Focus network. You know, that is not a super far-flung idea. I'm just not sure if her personality would almost want that to happen. I think that like I said, it's possible. With the technology available, I think they might have been able to do that. I think if Ted Farrow was around, I think it would be in something like that. But it'd be cool. Obviously, I would love to find out more about Elizabeth from herself. As much as I like the lore, I think that Aloy finds out a lot more about Elizabeth and her if Aloy finds out more about Elizabeth and her company, I'd be more interested in seeing Aloy's reaction, simply because it's going to be huge for her. Yeah, absolutely. It's essentially, this is her mother. I mean, obviously, you're essentially a clone, but it's very much a mother figure. It's the closest thing to that she's ever had, and you know, that's kind of what set her on her journey post-proving to begin with. I read the HCD map was going to be 10 times bigger, but they noticed it was a little boring exploring the world so big, so they made it smaller. I knew that, or I know that Meridian was actually supposed to be huge and like a focal point in the early builds of the game. But also, you know, you have the crazy rendering things and so much of game development that I am so ill-equipped to talk about. But yeah, there's a point where you find there's too much. It's weird. People want a ton of stuff to discover, but you want it in a way that has a solid progression that feels rewarding and feels like you're actually doing something and not just aimless and alone. I think that was a big problem with No Man's Sky in the beginning. It was just, I mean, there was literally everything to explore, but the things that you were exploring weren't necessarily fulfilling or even as cool as maybe we had thought. Don't want to harp on No Man's Sky, but they've been working hard to get better. Let's see what else we got. I wish Meridian was much bigger. Of course you do. Exactly. Obviously the lore would be awesome, but the emotional impact on Aloy. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, this story is an incredibly personal one. You have this huge sweeping narrative of, you know, the world's gonna end, you gotta save the world, but really it's about a girl trying to find herself and her family and really who she is. And I think that's really what brings a lot of people to relate to this story. She's not some superhero. She's a young woman who is looking for answers, and in that is kind of swept up into this extraordinary circumstance and finds out that she herself has extraordinary roots. Ted, egomaniac though he may have tried to copy himself into an AI. That's what I mean. That for me, I think narrative-wise, it makes way more sense for somebody like Ted to want to preserve his consciousness over somebody like Elizabeth. I just don't see that being like her end game. Like, ooh, I got to make sure that my consciousness survives. I think that's way more of a Ted Farrow thing. Oh, Ted, especially in the mental state that he was in at the end of the game. Oh, I still have Blue Gleam to discover. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go find that Blue Gleam. Yeah, Meridian from concept art and images, it looked majestic, and I would like to see those camel machines in the future. I did see that picture. Those are pretty sweet. But once again, that was kind of early on when I think they also wanted Aloy to have a horse, and then John Gonzalez is like, no. One of the unique things about her needs to be the fact that she is like the only one who rides machines, and that's kind of her big identifier too, like instantly. That people can see that and be like, oh my gosh, this is her. This is the huntress who rides machines, where in those early builds it was more like the machines were almost domesticated, where now they're a lot more wild and you don't see that, and that's one of the things that makes Aloy a little bit unique. For the sake of humor, have you ever thought of making a video about the guys who wanted to get together with Aloy? Not that particularly. There's one episode that I want to do, and I've been putting it off forever, and if it falls on the day, I'll do it this time. but I wanted to do a Legends video, like big air quotes, like Legends, and I wanted to do it on director Dodger Blevins. And basically just make him sound amazing, like he's the guy who saved the world. And if you don't know about Dodger Blevins, he's a DLC character who's mentioned. He was the security officer of Firebreak who just took his job way too seriously, and everybody hated him. So yeah, Legends of Horizon Zero Dawn, director Blevins. So that would be one that I would want to do. Legends of Horizon Zero Dawn, Aloy ships. Oh, and I get that question a lot too, like who would I like to see Aloy shipped with? And either, I think I said, number one, I think my number one answer was Aloy don't need no man, and Aloy's busy. Like everybody else is like, hey, you want to? She's like, I got stuff, guys. Like this is so low on my list of priorities. But if I were to ship Aloy with somebody, either like I don't. Everybody ships her with Nil. I would say like I think Varl would be a good fit for her. I think he's down to earth, or Talana, because they got like similar interests and they're more like contemporaries, and I think that's important. Not like, oh, Ayla, you're amazing. Like, Talana's a talented hunter herself, and that's something that, so yeah, I like Varl or Talana. Honestly, I would ship her with Varl, too. Yeah, Varl just seems like a really good, down-to-earth guy, but I don't think he could get past the anointed thing. I think that might be, like, their big hurdle. Like, do you see her as, like, like a person, or do you see her as, you know, like, the chosen, vessel of your deity? It could be hard to get past. I don't see Aloy settling down with anybody but Nil. You, Talana, would be an awesome pick, though. But Nil. Everybody ships her with Nil. You know, Nil's dreamy. Yeah. So I think Talana would be the best fit. Somebody who is of the hunt. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. I'm so used to, just from the base game, hopping off of a horse to go get the resources, but then they're like, you don't have to do this anymore. I always forget about that. Did I search? Oh, I should make some potions. I think it's set up Erend with Aloy romantically, and Talana is supposed to be her best friend. Yeah, I know a lot of people, it's like, oh, you know, Erend's like the lovable guy down on his luck who's turning it around and making it better for himself, who's rising to the occasion. I wouldn't mind that, but honestly, I don't see it. I'm not sure, A, if it's necessary, or B, if they're going to really push having her have a romantic interest in the sequel. I'm not sure if that's a big priority for them. Anyone ship Aloy with Avad? I'm just curious. She could be the Sun Queen to a certain degree, even though there isn't actually like a Sun Queen per se, because they're pretty... The patriarchy, man. I don't think Erend and her would be in a long-term relationship. It'd be like a fling, and then Aloy would be like, it's not you, it's me. Let's see, what was I? What was I? Oh, yes, I was gonna make potions. Oh, fatty meat. That's what I needed. Get that from the boar. Let's see here. Everybody wants to ship Aloy. And when Aloy's ready to settle down, Aloy will settle down. Really, when the world settles down. For my money, the world is still in great peril. This was a surprisingly good side quest. The dam in the Frozen Wilds. I was really pleased with how fleshed out that storyline was. Me just personally. I can't remember her name, but the gal that Aloy helped get Avad's brother to Meridian. Avad's brother, Vanasha. Yes. Once again, I think maybe, you know, they're both pretty worldly. I could see it. I could see it. Aloy needs somebody who's not super tied down. Somebody who can go. Ursa. Alright. Just gonna ride this guy. Where am I even going? Oh, I was gonna find the blue gleam. I think I tried to find this last stream and I couldn't because I was just inept. I loved how none of it was super key, but the whole side quest was super insightful. It rewarded you for diving in. Yeah, for real. The Frozen Wilds was just, if that's any indicator of how good the sequel's gonna be. You know, I've tried not to pre-order things. I was burnt pretty bad by a couple of pre-orders, and but you know, outside of the fact that, you know, I create content for this, but just purely from the fact that Guerilla Games has earned my trust as of now, and yeah, I'm like, shut up and take my money. Yeah, there it is. Silver is talking about how hyped I was for No Man's Sky, and that was I also pre-ordered Destiny 2, which was if you're familiar with that franchise, it was not great in the beginning. Still also kind of recovering from that huge fallout, but I will absolutely pre-order the next Horizon. Why do you only have 3 modification slots in the Banuk bow? Aren't there supposed to be 4? This isn't New Game Plus. I'm just kind of diving around in normal, so these are not the adept version of the weapons. I went through the campaign in Ultra Hard to platinum the game, but outside of that, I was not going to hang around. I like feeling like beast mode. Thoughts on Avengers Infinity War? Oh. Man, it's been a while since it's come out, so I think we're kind of spoiler free, but obviously we are getting into spoiler territory for sure. I will say I was super hyped from the trailer that came out recently. I love the fact, I just constantly love the fact that Paul Rudd is Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd. Like, Slappa DeBeus is going to help save the universe. But I will say this. I am very much looking forward to it. I think the MCU is firing on all cylinders and then some, with Captain Marvel coming out. Like, yeah. I always feel bad for the DC extended universe. I'm like, for all the DC fans that are out there, and they're constantly just kind of like, that wasn't as good as the Marvel movie. Like, outside of Wonder Woman, and I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but I hear that's pretty good. I really liked Wonder Woman, but like, oh god, Suicide Squad, like, what happened? So bad. Ever watch Star Wars? Heck yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I have a Star Wars tattoo. I'm actually wearing a Star Wars shirt right now. Red 5. Oh yeah. Love me some Star Wars. You know, another franchise that is currently kind of in a rockier place than it ever has been. But, you know, I have faith in Jar Jar Abrams. I think The Last Jedi was interesting. Okay, new question. What are your thoughts on the side quest The Forgotten? I was curious about it since it seems to hint about the health, mental health, schizophrenia in particular. Ooh, yeah. I often forget about that one because it happens fairly early on in the story. But it's an interesting look into seeing like how people of a tribal world would view that, and kind of the explanations they would kind of make for themselves. I think it's a tie-in also to kind of Ted's mental health towards the end of the game and kind of what he was dealing with. But I thought it was an interesting and unexpected piece. Oh, I don't even know I'm going in here. I'll look around. But yeah, I often kind of forget about that one. Might have to do a little lore bite on that to discuss. Favorite character in Star Wars? Star Wars. Yours is Ahsoka. Ahsoka Tano. She grew on me. I will say that she really did grow on me. In the first season of Clone Wars, I was kind of like, I'm not sure about her. But that character, like, oh god, if the if the prequels were half as good as the animated series, nobody would gripe about it. Like, nobody would gripe about it. The whole plot line with the clones and almost finding out, like, what Order 66 was, and, like they did such a good job. And they corrected the biggest mistake in Star Wars history, which was killing Darth Maul. Like, ugh. It's like, oh, how are we going to create a villain who's as cool as Darth Vader? And then you did it, and then you killed him. Like, don't even want to get me started. Yours is Jar Jar Binks. Darth Binks. Have you ever seen her in Rebels? I haven't watched Rebels as much. I did see her. Oh god. Like, I feel good. But I did see that final showdown. That's all I'll say about it to avoid more spoilers. And it kind of comes full circle. It's a little heartbreaking. I told you about the presentation. Oh, yes, about HCD. Well, I got full points on that, and it was only due to your videos. That is awesome. I was somebody else was telling me about a project they're doing, and I'm really, really happy to hear that. That's great. That people who aren't in gaming really they really lose out, and the more people can really, in my mind, kind of become aware of the medium as it stands now as just kind of a work of art. Oh, crap. That was Sketchtown. I think the better, and I think that's a great thing that you did. That's awesome. I hope the sequel will have a reference to the Adventure Time, because Ashley Birch wrote several episodes in the series, including the finale. I love Hey Ash, What You Playin'? That is my better half introduced me to Hey Ash, What You Playin' after Horizon, and god, she just cracks me up. She is hysterical. Silver's got a crush on Ashley Birch. I don't blame her though. If there was a tribe in HCD that didn't speak English, what language would you like to see? There's an they talk a lot about China, so I think Mandarin would make a good fit. You know, it depends on what got preserved and what Aluthia's main kind of what language was preeminent, whether that was regional or if it was all English. I know depending on where you play the game, obviously that changes, but it's one of those things that it almost would make sense to me if you had enough time that you should just make an entirely new language that the world should just learn. Obviously, that might not have worked out, you know, especially narrative-wise for the game, but I think if you're wanting to make a world that, like, in their ideal, like, utopian, looking at it, being like, hey, we have a new chance to make everybody better, you know, start off at a clean slate. You can introduce new languages after, but have, like, a base language that might be, like, an amalgam of all the other languages, and then just go from there. So, kind of, the more communication you can have in this kind of ideal world where Apollo existed, I think the better. Hey, happy that you were able to catch the stream live as well. Ashley did a few episodes of Critical Role. Oh, yes, I am familiar with them. They're on Geek and Sundry, right? They made a conscious decision not to age English 1,000 years. That is correct. We talked about that in one of the lore bites.
Well,
but as
already.
far as but that was more of a gameplay decision. If you're talking about like making the game more historically accurate, I think you know, make that amalgam language and you know, give everybody kind of a level playing field. Everybody speak the same language. That'd be cool. YouTube Rewind thoughts. Is that the most recent one? I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah. Oh God, I need to play Monster Hunter more. I do love that game. Honestly, I've been playing another game that I have fallen in love with also, and you'll probably be seeing on the channel. I don't want to spoil things, so we'll have a reveal about it. But it was one thing that yeah, I think I might start streaming Monster Hunter on here just periodically, just because as much as I love Horizon and, and other games that are single player and open world, I would want to have the opportunity to play alongside a lot of you guys, and I think Monster Hunter is a good platform to do that. So let me know what you think. Did you hear about the new Thrawn book coming out next year? No, what series is that? Sounds cool. Well, apparently people know about this book. Have you ever heard of Thrawn?
What?
Have you heard of the Thrawn book series, Silver? I don't know. If it has dragons and magic, we're generally interested. Yeah, it's that mission where you get Aloy's skin is pretty funny. That giant ancient app. Monster Hunter. The guy does. Never heard of Thrawn, man. Don't be hating. Don't hate. Educate. I remember prying you out of the ice, big boy. You don't even know. You don't even know. Originally, I think you were supposed to be able to hunt these guys, but they're like, man. Oh, is that like Star Wars, like the Legends that aren't canon anymore? Or is that like the canon edition? If you guys look, actually my first episode on this channel, the first video I ever created was a Star Wars video. That's a fun fact. Oh, I should. I'm trying to jump on this Tomek. It's been a while since I climbed one of these boys. Okay. Oh, it finally went away. Ah. Yes, yes, yes. But right, is it one of the Star Wars books that has been taken out of the canon and put into like the Legends stream of things, or has it remained canon through the whole transition to Star Wars Disney? Both Legends and new canon. Thrawn is an ultra intelligent strategist on the unknown regions. That sounds pretty cool. I'm in for that. Since your lore videos have become so popular, do you think Guerilla will ever ask you to collaborate on any ideas at the next game? Well, that's very kind of you to say, Catherine. There's nothing I would like more. There's nothing that I would like more than for Guerilla to give me a holler and be like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" I'd freak out for a good long while. I annoyed when they tweeted out one of my videos. My friends were so annoyed with me because I wouldn't shut up about it for like 10 days. So, Silver, do you just want to join the stream? I am excited about Monster Hunter. I do need to play more. I've been playing a lot of another game. Both Legends do. Oh, where is he? Ah, or her? I don't know. Look at how majestic that is. Like we'll do a little mini Legends moment here. This is how we make Legends. Oh. Yeah, this will be our new Legends. Welcome to Legends. I'll open an episode up like this, just Aloy. Like, la, la, la. The game that watches Aloy make snow angels and people take pictures of. I have not played KOTOR. Is that a video game? Is that a role-playing game? What is it? If they ask you to collaborate, please tell them to include Nil in the sequel. I would like to see Nil in the sequel. He's like my favorite sociopath. So I'm all in. Unfortunately, some of you decided to kill him. So oh wow, that's not what I expected. This might be a little bit different. Perfect for Christmas. Let's see what we can shoot from up here. Killing Nil was wrong. The problem is, he was literally asking for it. Like, there was nothing figurative or implied about it. He's like, nah, fight to the death. Let's do this. It's a nice little... How many other of you good folks have spent way too much time in photo mode in this game? Let's see here. Oh, I kill him every time he creeps me out. Is gross, LOL. Star Wars Knights of the Old... Oh! I have absolutely heard of Star... I'm sorry, I didn't get the acronym. Yeah. I played it for a little bit during like its free trial period, but I hear the story in that game is awesome. Oh, okay. I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. Silver. Just making a ruckus out of this. What?
The new game, Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
So we have to pay for a new game?
Well, it's a new game.
Oh God.
Yeah, you usually just pay for a new game.
Looks like we're gonna be buying Monster Hunter World Iceborne. If you play Monster Hunter World, what is your main... Oh. Silver is a charge blade main, and I am a hammer main. Question: which of Guy's machines is your personal favorite? Snap Moss. Super cool. My heart Snap Moss. And principally because they just do really cool stuff when you're not. If you just honestly, if you're like me and you end up just sitting there and staring at them, they shake and they do like solar panel stuff and they like eject their canisters of chill water. It's kind of crazy. Oh wow, there are some serious rendering problems happening here. Look at these guys. I'm sorry, sir, you haven't been rendered. Oh, there you are. Okay. question. Oh, what do you think was Horizon's biggest flaw? Ooh, Horizon's biggest flaw. I'll give you like a serious one and a silly one. My silly one, because it only ever applies to me, is the fact that I can't move the photo mode around in settlements. Like, because for me, I need to do game capture there. I actually had somebody ask me in the comments earlier today, "Ooh, yikes, that guy isn't having a good time." Like, how do I do game capture in settlements? Because you can't move the camera around, and this is how you do it. So if you're looking to do some pictures, you just wedge yourself in a corner, and then you force the camera into first person, and then you can be like, "Ah, the snow of the cut is a product of, you know, climate change during the events of the frozen wild." So that's, I would very much like to be able to do photo mode in settlements. I would say its biggest flaw is the they kind of work to correct it in the Frozen Wilds with having the ability to mod your spear a little bit, but if you're gonna only have one weapon as far as the melee thing goes, give it a lot of depth, and give it a lot of customization. But I would rather, in this kind of game where you collect different weapons, you know, I'd like to be able to use a Oseram Warhammer, or a Karja sword, or, you know, a spear or something like that of Karja design. So I would just like some more variety in that, and I think we'll see that in the sequel. I wish Nat Maz had the cloak like Stalkers. Your favorite is the Grazer. They are very nice and tranquil. Ooh, I actually know what I'm gonna do. I was looking on the Reddit, and if somebody can point me in Devil's Grief, right? This is Devil's Grief, yeah. To the Nora paintings that are featured in the original trailer, that'd be awesome. Which headset am I using? These are just like, I think they're Turtle Beach. Yeah. I call them Turtle Bays. Yeah, it's a cheapo Turtle Beach headset. Can you guys hear me okay? I got Silver a nicer headset for her birthday that I am not allowed to use. Apparently my big head stretches it out. Don't get it. I'm torn between Tallneck and the Behemoth because of their function in the terraforming system. Yeah, any kind of acquisition class, and plus, or transport class, the Behemoth has the anti-gravity technology. Really cool. I totally get that. Fireclaw. Oh, God. That thing was such a pain in Epsilon Cauldron the first time. The first time you find one and it picks up that giant stone, you're like, you're not allowed to do that. You can't block things, and then it throws it at you. Ugh. Favorite machine? Mine is the Scorcher. Fast and mean. Hephaestus makes him that way. Let's see here. Looks like I'll be streaming for about... This is going to be a shorter stream. I'll be streaming for another like 45 minutes or so. And then I have to help move a couch. So, there you go. Also, how many foxes have you killed? Just out of curiosity, if you had to take an estimate, maybe that's the biggest flaw in Horizon, is the fact that you commit genocide on a swirling spined fox. This fox is possessed. Look at this. Die, devil fox!
Kill it with fire!
Ah! Oh god, it's spinning faster! Die! This place is cursed. That's getting 736. Finding goose skin was the worst, yeah. Is it still there? I want to see if it's still there. I'm afraid. Ugh.
Machine's quick.
This thing won't die. No, it's got a harpoon in it. Oh, this poor thing. This poor thing.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I don't really know. I'm just laying in bed right now.
Grab this now.
What? You can't hear me.
Yeah, yet I'm looking at Silver is talking trash over there. My better half, my wonderful fiance. She's over there. She's throwing shade. Shade is being thrown. Oh! Hedge. Oh, geese. I missed. I'd like to point out the sweet headshot I got on this turkey. Don't get those every day. Maybe if you stop, if you'll loot it. I have to go back and see him. Is he over this hill? Let's see here. Devil Fox was past this hill. I found interesting that the paintings in the Nora portray the metal devils as spiders because they probably never got to see the whole body. I will say I came upon a very, very interesting revelation between the Nora and the myth of the metal devils, but I'll be saving that for an episode of Metal World, which the scripts are coming along quite nicely. That's the most labor-intensive part of these. They are longer than a typical Legends video, so those of you who like the longer videos, you'll like Metal World a lot. Also, they require a lot more research because they require research of like the real world as well as
No room.
you know, Horizons lore. So trying to get a nice mix of things, and also, you know, shooting them takes time also because so you have to do game capture, you have to do actual, you know, on-site filming, real world research, and in-game lore research. But I've had a ton of fun in the writing process so far. It's been really cool. You know what I find really useless is, and maybe it's just me, some people like it. I'm not a big rattler person. See if we can. Let's have some fun with this guy, and let's get. Where is it? I think I shot a Rattler once. Haven't touched it since. Yeah. Will you be making a lore video about Metal Devil above Elysian 9 anytime soon? We had a huge discussion about it in one of your videos a few months back. Oh my goodness. You know, the thing about that topic is it's just there isn't a ton that's concrete to go off of, which makes me sad. But maybe I could just do a speculation video about it, you know. Just heavy emphasis on the fact that it's like, listen, guys, there's a lot of stuff to that we just don't know about this.
Back to your business.
I love my Rattler for close encounters. That's nice. Oh, fox. Actually, this might be... I know where I'm gonna go. I am in desperate need of Blaze. And where's that first hunting trial? It's like right here. Yes. Yes, Guardian. I am also a Destiny fan. Sorry? Have fun. Everybody say hi to Silver and then immediately bye to Silver.
Hi guys. Bye guys.
Let's see here. The Metal Devils always were one of the most interesting things for me when I started playing the game. Yeah. Everybody says hi bye.
Hi bye.
Hi bye.
Bye.
Alright. Come on. Take me to the graves. There's gotta get some blaze now. I'm but a stranger. it used to be wire that I always used to run out of. Wire, and then it was definitely blaze. My friend and I started making jokes like, would you like to hear the word of our Lord and Savior Elizabeth Sophie? She's pretty great. She kind of is all mother if you think about it. Let's get some blaze. Just had to ruin everything, didn't ya? Give me your blaze. Ha! I looked the other way. Oh, you got the last laugh on that one. I break you. Oh, that's why I'm like, why don't I just do this all the time? But if you use the gather arrows, you probably get more resources. I see why I did that now. Same time, her flaw is immortality while she does the impossible is what makes her so compelling. Yeah, the characters are really well thought out in this game for sure. I wish there was a Tear Blast grenade.
Down you go.
Oh! Oh, ow. Guys, I don't even want to kill you. I just want your blaze, and then I'll leave. Apparently this is a lethal way to do it. Why do you think Gaia never salvaged metal from the Pharaoh plague making terraforming machines after more than 1,000 years? You would think most of the world would have been taken apart for resources. I mean, for all we know, they could have. You know, we don't see a lot of Pharaoh robots on the surface. Most of them have been dug up. So maybe through time, the ones that were available, because I think they were talking about, you know, millions of Pharaoh robots, you know, waiting for something to eat. So I think they might be a little bit more prevalent. So my answer for that would be maybe they did. I once encountered a group of grazers surrounding a single long leg, destroyed the concussion sack, and every blaze canister popped off. Had a good laugh after that. That is what you call winning in the world of Horizon. Puppy, why are you whining? Come down here. You guys can meet my puppy. Come here. Come here, honey. If she's not going to stand on the top of the stairs and whine. Woo! Give it a blaze. Can you keep the door open for her? Oh, I see. I think that's part of the reason Scrabbles and Glenhawks were made. Oh. Let's see here. Get some of this. I want some of more. I want some of this. Tank. Plus scavengers are needed in any ecosystem, even machine. But yeah, let's see. There's no reason. So, could have been for both. Yeah, I mean, we did talk a little bit about the machine ecosystem in one of the lore bites also, how Guerilla kind of talked to some people prevalent in machine biomechanics and also robotics, kind of fitting like how would a machine ecosystem work. It's like, well, you know, animals are kind of like biological machines that fit into a specific role and have adapted and evolved just to fill that role, so you'd probably want to draw inspiration from existing animal life, and it's a good logical reason kind of why the machines look the way they look. They always keep these fires lit. They do a wonderful job. Well, that hurt me. No, because I'm Aloy, the Anointed. Even though I'm wearing a Banuk symbol right now. You guys have a favorite tribe? Mine is the Banuk. Found this meme on Discord and love that It's a Beautiful Day Should Go Outside. I like it. Oh. You don't want none of this. Let's see if we can get me. What? You messed up. You done messed up. We also kind of talked about why the focus does this. The focus can translate any tribal patterns or local language into the language that you read, so that's why it does that. Focus is pretty cool. They need to invent those. They do a lot of stuff. Scory. Scory girl, come here. Let everybody meet you. Come here, baby. So this is Scory. Come over here. Come on. Come here. She is my little princess. Come on, baby girl. She's a big whiner, though. Come here. Let Daddy pick you up. Oh, girl. Oh. Uh-oh. She unplugged my microphone. No! Where are you going? You wanted to say hi to everybody. I think we're good again. Poogers. Alright. Where should I go off to next? I've been thinking a lot about how Nora mythology relates to what actually happened in the past. What do you think? I think it draws a lot from that. I mean, if you go to the data point, the old ones, I'm actually not going to pull it up right now, but if you go to the data point, the old ones, all of their kind of mythos of origin, kind of how the world came to be, it's all partially correct. Like, they all kind of get a piece of that puzzle right. They just don't have the entirety of what happened, but it's not like any one of them are exactly wrong. So that's kind of interesting. So you're right, it's an astute observation. Why doesn't Hephaestus build machines that try to communicate with humans? I know that many don't speak the same language, but Hephaestus could figure something out. I think, it's just, people talk about, I think there's a big misconception about the type of artificial intelligence you're dealing with so people say that the subfunctions were turned into AIs, and I don't necessarily believe that to be true. They exhibit a degree of artificial intelligence, but if you put that up to something like Cyan or Gaia, they kind of pale in comparison at that logical thought process. I think they kind of have prioritized, and that might change over time, but for now it's still very primitive. From what I've seen, they're trying to execute what they're trying to do. So it's trying to make machines to fulfill these specific functions for the terraforming process. Something is stopping them. They're just going to make machines to kill that. I don't think it's really thinking in the most like logical or even passive way. So I think it's just kind of maybe not within its scope of doing. Do you think there are more... Oh, where is it? Do you think there are more advanced civilizations in the West? At one point, even mentioned seeing people who could cross vast expanses of water. That is something to... maybe. You know, I think the Oseram are a good example of what a civilization looks like in this world who have not been hampered by any type of belief system that would have them otherwise not advance their technological prowess. So I think the Oseram kind of are a good example of what a very high technologically acute civilization would look like. So I think it could be different. I'm not necessarily sure if it would be more advanced than the Oseram, unless they have really figured out something the Oseram haven't. But that's all the Oseram do. They don't even have a really big religious system. Their goal is to discover the inner workings of the great machine that they view the world to be. So my answer to that is maybe, but it seems like the Oseram are pretty on it as far as the time that they've had and what their goals are and how they've gone about it. What if we came across a tribe that had a partial copy of Apollo? Then you have something different, right? Because it's not just... you don't have to go through all the trial and error of what these things are and why they do things they do, because you have the answers to those questions. So if that was the case, then yes, then you could have a more advanced civilization. You need focuses, though, to do that. So you probably need to either dig up a lot of them or, you know, maybe crack into a Lyceum Learning Center in a cradle. Totally agree. The subfunctions are super focused. They can communicate, but even Hades didn't start talking to Silence until he convinced him to. Yeah, and it was just, you know, they have the propensity to learn, but to say that, you know, they have the type of logical thought process of a Gaia or Cyan, I don't see it. There's nothing that has really convinced me otherwise, also. My focus specifically on the Nora. Agreed. My focus was specifically on the Nora because their myth specifically talks about All Mother. You know, yeah, and they have kind of an understanding of Gaia to some degree, a very very loose interpretation of that. But yeah, I mean, you have the Banuk who have little interest in the old ones, but can kind of assume that, like the Ostrom feel like the world is a great machine that fell into disrepair because the old ones kind of neglected it, which is partially true. The Banuk and the Karja, if I remember correctly, kind of believe that in the hubris of the ancients, they felt like they could control the machines, but something happened so that was no longer the case, and especially in Horizon's world, that's particularly true. So definitely read that data point. It's one of the more interesting ones. That and Hades Protocol. Everybody knows that I'm a big fan of that one. Spun my wheels a lot on that one. You know, those new perspective videos that I make, I think a lot of people, you know, they're quick to be like, you know, there's a problem with this and a problem with that. It's like, you know, sure, but anytime you have this type of degree of speculation on any particular thing concerning the unknown signals, like, you're going to run into a lot of speculation. Like, anybody who, it's like what you choose to suspend your disbelief on. Like, if you think the Odyssey was the origin of the unknown signal, you have to kind of suspend your disbelief and say, well, it didn't blow up. So you're always going to make leaps when you're dealing with subjects concerning the unknown signal. Have you watched Gravity Falls? I have not. I watched for 10 seconds and I'm already thinking over all my life choices. How do you record your videos when you're in a settlement? I talked about this a little bit before. Let's go to a settlement. Let's go visit... Where should we go? let's go to... We'll just go to Meridian. And I will show you. So if you wanna do some Horizon videos yourself, then you'll know how to do it. It's pretty silly. You have to kind of force the camera to do what you want to do. Oh, maybe free heap later. Visit old Petroforge woman. Not Petroforge wife. What's so funny about the holy city? All right, calm your heresies. Don't go full heelless on us. Meridian Alas. Meridian. This is how my voiceover goes. It all comes out smooth in the end, but God, it is rough getting there. Oh, man. Meridian Alas. I can do this. I have a bit of a crush on Petra. Strong woman. I get it. Who is a heeless again? Uh-oh. Somebody's going to be triggered. Need someone's input because I'm out of ideas on my D&D campaign and focus on dungeons and delving social interaction. I was actually looking at working on a D&D style experience for Horizon. I just am very inexperienced in being a DM and whatnot, but I think I have a good storyline, a good grasp of the lore that could kind of intertwine certain things. So let me know if you're interested. Hit me up on the Discord. So Helis is the main antagonist, by the way. I didn't mean that to come off like a jerk. Or the human antagonist. He's the one who kills Rost. So here's how you shoot in a city, because yeah, if you try to go into photo mode, you get stuck here. But if you find a lovely corner, let's go with this guy right here, or a wall, you can shove yourself into the wall and force the camera into first person, and that's my little cheat. And then you can go into the HUD. I have a custom one that turns everything off, and then you can be like, welcome to Legends, a series that delves into the lore within Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, so that's how you do it. You just force yourself into you make Aloy, you put Aloy in a corner, and then you pan. And you force the camera. As a DM myself, it can be daunting, but honestly, as long as your players understand that you are new, you'll be fine. Can you tell us your idea? Yeah, I can in a moment. Let me just... how do you think the horse battle will be? On one hand, defeating it with a bow and arrow would be silly compared to the military not being able to destroy. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a God of War style, like maybe semi cutscene interaction deal, like do a couple things on the ground, then you go into that maybe. The idea was, I know a lot of people, one of the biggest comments I receive on the channel is wishing for like a DLC or a game that's dedicated to Rost's journey, or B, which is what I was kind of more focused on, was putting yourself as a soldier during enduring victory. So the concept I had for my D&D campaign concerning Horizon was less about this world, but putting you as a member of a mechanized response brigade, kind of battling through enduring victory. So that's kind of... And I have... I'm using this for the chat, but I have a brief outline and things like that, kind of describing it. So that's what it would be. So my D&D campaign would focus on the 60s, opposed to like this time. Thank you, Honest. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I have all these really good, in my opinion, you know, obviously plot points and things I want to kind of take the player through. But as far as actual game mechanics are concerned, you know, putting in, you know, like awareness checks, the actual D&D side of it, I just don't feel very confident in. That's the thing, though. It's kind of sad, but you know, being that it's your own, I have things that could potentially make it less sad. Just, I don't want to get too spoilery into the story that I've made, but oh no, are you gonna attack me? No, because Aloy can't get attacked by these guys. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I really need some stories, official or not, surrounding those in enduring victory. Like I got it. I think I got a decent narrative to spin for you. I'm just looking to get with somebody who could really help me flesh out the actual gameplay mechanics side, so DMs could pick it up and make it an easy experience, and not have to be like, the person who made this isn't very good at being a DM. Be like, sorry. Yes. Got about 15 more minutes left in the stream there, folks. It's been a lively chat. I've enjoyed. We've talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about Star Wars, and yeah, it's I'm a big fan of a lot of different fandoms. This is my mashup tattoo of different stuff. I also like Pokemon, so this is a big Ho-Oh tattoo. It's done in traditional Japanese. So the next tattoo I will be getting is Horizon inspired. I just gotta, you know, find the time and obviously cash. Cash is important. If you haven't gotten a tattoo, make sure that you are willing to spend a good amount of money on it, because it's a piece of art and you want to be able to wear it proudly. I love Thank you, Honest. Yeah, this guy was about, the Ho-Oh was 9 hours over a couple different visits. So the green, just the green took about 2 hours on its own, and the wings, that sucker just wouldn't punch into it. And then it's got the little flowers here that represent the 3 legendary dogs. So the purple one on the bottom is Suicune, the yellow and black is Raikou, and the red one up here is Entei. So love me my nerd stuff. Not so sure about Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu though. A little skeptical. I want to like it, but we'll see. Haven't played it yet.
Probably need it to wash.
Yeah, and then this is my Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Game of Thrones tattoo. That was the first one I ever got. Favorite of the 3. Ooh, God. Actually, I know it's not the most popular. Silver's favorite is Raikou. Mine is Suicune. Northwind. Just from a purely aesthetic standpoint, I haven't really used it that much in battle. I think my all-time favorite Pokemon, or at least starter, would be Swampert, which is Mudkip. That water ground typing is so trolly. I just love it. It seems Horizon doesn't have many Easter eggs. Would you say it's because of how much they actually want They have a couple Easter eggs. We could point out a few. There's we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I'll bring you guys to a very quick Easter egg. But so right there, that's from Killzone, which is a Guerrilla title. And I'll bring you guys to another one. Found this one while I was doing other stuff. Can you at least tell us the hero's name and your idea? Not yet. Not yet. I want to have you be able to flesh out kind of a class, because if it's a D&D style thing, there's a couple of different characters that I'd like you to be able to play as. Trico. Underrated. And there's a couple Death Stranding ones that are out there too. There's one in Aletheia 9. There's one in the Grave Horde. There's another one somewhere, but I'll show you this one. This one's kind of cheeky. There are a pair of named rabbits as well. Yes, they're by a metal flower. Okay, where is it? We're coming up on it, I think. Oh, I think I passed it. I still get lost in Meridian. This is a series of circles. So, this is the Hunter's Lodge. And if you go over here, you can find a book.
Let their memory and
Maybe it's on the other side
be a
here.
beacon for all hunters,
Oh, is Talana talking?
people to follow.
Oh, thanks, Talana. Thought I'd... Weird. Maybe it's upstairs. Where is it? I could have sworn it was downstairs. Ah, there it is. So, if you can see this, this book has a Guerilla Games logo on it right there. So that's one, which I thought was kind of fun. So there's that guy. And if you're fans of Death Stranding, we'll go to what's the best one? We'll go here. Yeah, I mean, it's so subtle. The reason why I caught it is because the intro to Lore Bites I shot in there. That panning shot of the bookcase is from the Hunter's Lodge, and while I was looking for a place to do that, it was it's like, wait a second. What would you say would be the story behind the skeletons? Oh boy, that is pretty mysterious. That's you can get to those by doing the tall neck. I think I know the one you're talking about, and you go up and then you jump off the ledge, and they're the ones holding hands. Man, that's a real kicker. I really don't know off the top of my head. I'll try to do some digging, as always. I'll try to see what I can find. Oh, my little puppers. Being a good girl. Do you think HZD2 will have the original map in it? As much as I would love it if that was the case, I don't think so. It might have like a piece of it, maybe like Sunfall. Like I've kind of gone through it in my head a little bit. If you're going into the Forbidden West, it's kind of the start of the Forbidden West, so that might be like a good place to start your story before you actually go west. So maybe like a small piece, but I do not think that they're going to put the original map in there, as cool as that would be. Maybe they are like the old couple in the Titanic. That is sad. As much as that movie is incredibly long, that part is very sad. Ah, thank you very much there, Diver. So, let's go. We're going to visit another Easter egg. This is a Death Stranding Easter egg. Ow. So over here, you'll find one of the members of the 9th MRB. This person in particular... Oh, shoot. I'm not sure if you can see it anymore. Oh, no. When you pick it up, it goes away. So this guy here wears a necklace that the Norman Reedus character in Death Stranding wears in one of the trailers. So if you... when you pick him up, it's... Does it show them? Where are those figures? The stranded figures? Let's see how many... I've killed 66 foxes. A lot of dead foxes. But yeah, there's one there. There's one if you go backwards in Aletheia 9. So if you walk down the stairs and then you turn around, there's like the creepy little baby that floats up to Norman Reedus. That's Death Stranding's one too. Did you know that the Frozen Wilds outfits, Talana's and Sona's, when put on Aloy, they have the body of Talana and Sona, not Aloy? Really? I did not know that. Let's that's a Talana. Would it be under special items? Yes, indeed, you're correct. So the stranded shackles are the handcuffs from Death Stranding. The stranded necklace is the one that you 6 tarnished metal ingots and plain ingots and plain wire. That's the one that you find there. And then this guy, which is the creepy baby, and you find that in Aletheia 9 when you walk down the stairs and you walk down, you make an immediate left, and you kind of look in the crevice and you can see it. Unfortunately, I picked them up, so I can't really show you guys in this one. So nice catch there, Taurus. Nah, totally Aloy's abs. Being that Horizon is entirely single player, I was expecting there to be game-altering Easter eggs. There is one. There. I don't want to spoil it. It's in my episode of Metal World, and it's really cool. All right, you guys are on the stream. We'll talk about it. Okay, so, well, it's actually really, God, it's hard to see. So, yeah, never mind. We'll talk about it in Metal World because you can't really see it. Maybe okay, all right. Maybe if I go there. Actually, I don't even have enough time. Wonder if I can. No, I can't do that. I'm sorry. You'll see it. It's really cool. It's in I think the 2nd episode that Metal World will produce. It has to do with Denver Stadium. That's all I'll say, and it's pretty cool. It's not like game breaking or anything like that, but it's like and some people may already know about it, but it's very cool, and it was very kind of clever. We kind of dig into beyond what I've seen other people maybe talk about it as, but I remember noticing it and being like, I've seen that somewhere else, and then that's all I'll say. Yeah. Oh, good, Honest. Maybe we could talk about it in the Discord. You can look on Aloy's belly and hands. They are identical as Talana's and are lower resolution compared to Carja Blazing outfit. Oh, snap. Let's take a look. Let's all do Our favorite thing. We'll look at Aloy's abs. So there's Aloy's abs in 1. And let's get the old Carja Blazin' outfit. And there is 2. Do we see a difference in Aloy's ripped abs? So what is this Metal World thing I can find? It's not out yet. It is a series that I am producing that I'm basically, because I live in the Colorado area, I'm going to be going to, and I've already gone to some of the places that actually exist, and it's a series that combines real-world history, in-game lore, with in-game footage, and also the footage of today of what these places look like. So places like Red Rocks, Denver Stadium, Mother's Crown, which is Garden of the Gods, Devil's Grief, which is Denver. So those places, and I'll be going there, and it's going to be a Horizon Zero Dawn series that I'm putting together, and it'll be out sometime next year. So that is this Metal World thing. Yeah, very excited about it. If you'd like to help, as always, my patrons are an immense help in helping. How many times am I going to say help? In contributing to getting me out to these places and filming and whatnot. So if you haven't, check out the Patreon. It's pretty cool. It's kind of you to say. Luckily it's one of those kind of just perfect serendipitous scenarios that, you know, I live pretty close to Red Rocks, and that's the first place I shot, and it came out pretty good so far. Please remind me, this map is Colorado and part of Utah, right? Yes. So here, and obviously these are all kind of smushed together. Like Red Rocks is not directly across the river from Denver, but so the Sacred Land is essentially a lot of Colorado. So this would be Denver, which is basically the dead center of the state. This area down here is Colorado Springs, which is south of Denver. Then yeah, we kind of go into Utah. You can go to I think it's up here. This is like Arches. I believe that's what that place is. And then you have a couple different areas. Like this is Lake Powell, I believe. This is Bryce Canyon, because that's Bryce Orbital. Eagle Canyon is where Meridian is. So all these places, eventually I'm going to be starting with the Colorado area, and then eventually moving on. I believe Season 2 will be the Carja Sundom, and then Season 3 will be Yellowstone. So yeah, this is a pretty awesome game. Yeah, they are identically recreated delicate arch from Arches National Park and Horizon Map. I spent too many hours looking online and comparing map with Google Maps. So yeah, so that will hopefully save some people some time, because I'll actually go there and do. I have this sweet shot already. It's gonna be part of the trailer for the series, but it's just this panning shot. It goes from the game Red Rocks into the real Red Rocks, and then back to the game Red Rocks, and it's very faithfully recreated in the game. They did a wonderful job. Wonderful job. All right, guys. Well, I'm about to sign off here, unless anybody's got any final questions or thoughts. Regardless, I really appreciate your guys' support of the channel. You know, hitting 5,000. I know it's not the biggest YouTube milestone that's ever been hit, but it means the world to me. And it's just been it's been such an honor to have you guys as part of the community. It's incredibly positive, and whether it's the Discord or the comments, it's just been so lucky to have the community we have. I've been to a lot of places online, and it's pretty toxic, and I'm just so happy to say that our channel is you know, it's not that way. I really enjoy, and I don't think the Horizon community in a big sense is that way. When you go to the Reddit, hardly, when people try to troll, people really don't seem to be very mean. It's like, even if somebody's dogging on the game, there aren't a lot of dislikes, just a lot of comments. People want to find out why. So, hi, dog. She wants to play. And I think that's my cue to go, guys. Thank you again. Hopefully 5,000 is just a start for us. We got lots of exciting stuff coming up in the future. Metal World, a new series that isn't even about centered around Horizon. Hopefully doing some streams of maybe Monster Hunter World or something like that, so we can all play together. But thank you guys, and as always, thank you for watching. Keep questing, and I will see you next time. Thank you.